And we're live, people. We are live. This is everyone's a pundit, episode 7. We're back again, and we've got a Super Sunday special for you today. You know, there was a big game on, Spurs hosting Manchester United, and we've got 3 United fans and 3 Spurs fans, and we're going to dissect that game, talk about the season that Spurs have had, Manchester United season, and then we'll also talk about some of the other big talking points in this weekend's roundup of games, because there's been some heat building up in the top 4 race. So yeah, we're going to discuss that as well. But yes, before I get into more chat, let me introduce my guests. We've got 2 more debutants, so more debutants into the View studio. It's a pleasure to have you people. If I could start with yourself, please, Karl, can you please introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are, where you're from, what you're repping and everything.
Yeah, so I'm Karl from the Quiz.com podcast. Patrick's been on our show a few times and given us some energy when we've needed it. So always a pleasure to have him on. Supported Spurs, unfortunately, now 44 years, and I'm starting to really feel it this season, to be honest. They're pushing me to the limit, shall we say.
Oh gosh, the pain is real. 44 years, you know, and he's starting to feel it now. We're pleased and honored to have another debutant in the View studio as well. Please introduce yourself, Kallum.
Yeah, my name's Kallum. I'm on Views from the Skywalk on Never a Foul channel. Tottenham show live streams every Monday. We had Patrick on last week. It was a good episode. I'm not even surprised that Patrick shouted me, you know, because he tweeted last week that he wanted to get AJ Tracy on the show. So it's like it's a classic Spurs thing, isn't it? You want Bruno Fernandes, you get Lo Celso, innit? So I'll be Lo Celso today. Thanks for having me, boys.
No, man, big up yourself. Big up for coming through, man. Big up for coming through. Big up the people in the comments as well. Thank you for joining. Anybody that's watching, please hit that like button. I never usually say it, you know, but I'm going to start saying it now. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're going to start trying to push this platform now. But we've got on, I'm not even going to, let me let him introduce himself, please. B to the corner. Introduce yourself, please.
Yo, it's your boy Beeks, and we're back in the building, bro. Shout out to the man them at the bottom, the Tottenham fans. I know right now it's tough, but we're gonna help you get through it. Trust me, it's gonna be, you know, it's rocky, but we're there for you because we know how you guys are feeling. But right now, the Man United fans who are with me on the panel are feeling on top. Let's just gas, man. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
Let's go, man. Big up Beeks, man. Love the energy every time. And you know, I wanted some Man United energy today, so I called upon Beeks, and then I had to get Rachel in the building as well. Rach, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I am Rachel. People might know me as the Devil's Avocado. Spend a lot of time trolling idiots on Twitter regarding Man United most of the time. But yeah, you can find me on the first 11. Planning to do some tactical match reviews in the next few weeks as well. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, definitely have a look at our channel.
Definitely. Go and follow. All of their links will be in the description. Go and follow Rach as well. Definitely knows her stuff. And as I said, if you want a sentence on Twitter constructed so well, you're gonna have to go to Rachel, where she just be getting at people, hitting them where it hurts. I'm always replying like, is she talking to, like, she's talking to me, but she's not talking to me directly. But I know I'm one of them people that she's talking at, and I have to just hit her up. It's never me directly, but you hit with some points that make me think, okay, she's got a point here, you know, she's got a point. Anyway, Pat, introduce yourself. Everybody knows who you are anyway.
Yes, what's happening, people? It's your boy Patrick Tyron, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, you see the P. When you see the P, you know, it represents T. Let's go. I'm still trying to bring the energy, even though I'm feeling down. And I'm seeing the comments. Everyone's talking about me not wearing my Spurs top and all that because
They've noticed already, boy.
Yeah. I said to everyone backstage, today I'm just repping myself, man, and I'm repping Nigeria. I'm not repping Spurs today, man. They've let me down too many times this season. So I've had enough.
The pain. And anyway, you people know me. I'm Semps, man. So let's get this show on the road. Episode 70. Everyone's a pundit. So the Premier League started up on Friday. Unlucky to Fulham, man. Last minute, they lost it to Wolves, and I think Fulham are all but down now. I don't think they've got anything left. They've played 2 games more than some of the other teams. So yeah, I don't hold any hope for them anymore.
Stamps are officially relegated. They got the red bar next to their team now.
Who?
Done.
Fulham?
Done. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, shame.
No, not Fulham. I'm sorry, Sheffield United. Sorry, I'm on a mad one.
No, yeah, okay.
I was like, what?
They're not that far behind, are they?
Yeah, I was
like,
confused. Right, take time, Pat. Take time. Yeah, but he's held some blows today. You don't know where he's at the moment, man. We're talking about Fulham and Wolves. It happened on Friday. We move on to Saturday, and Man City lost 2-1 at home to Leeds, and Leeds were down to 10 men. That was a madness. And Trent Alexander-Arnold won it for Liverpool in injury time. 2-1 at home to Aston Villa. Crystal Palace lost at home 4-1. Chelsea beat them. That was a bit of a madness as well. We'll discuss that. Moving on to today, Newcastle beat Burnley away 2-1. So I know certain man there are chirping, D-man they're chirping there because it looks like Newcastle are safe now. I don't think they're going to be able to get dragged into that relegation fight. West Ham and...
Shout out to Kendall. She's been repping for Newcastle all year, so that was a big
yeah. She's gonna be happy that they've stayed up. She's gonna be happy. West Ham, man, 3-2. We're gonna discuss that game. That game was a madness. They beat Leicester at home 3-2, and then obviously Manchester United beat Tottenham away from home 3-1. Sheffield United lost 3-0 at home to Arsenal, and the Arsenal man them are chirping now as well. I can see them a few in the comments. So yeah, you people in the comments, let us know what you're saying. Give it. There's a few of them in the comments still. But let's get into the game that we're here to discuss. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 3. In a game where I think Man United fans would have taken a draw. I would have taken a draw because I think, especially after Leicester loss, you're just thinking we only need a few more points and we're sort of guaranteed this top 4 now. For me, finishing second doesn't really mean anything. It's just about top 4 now and trying to get that trophy. But we managed to get the 3 points. And I saw something today, people, that only Brighton have dropped more points than Spurs from winning positions. And I think Brighton have got 20 points. Spurs have dropped 18 points. Obviously, they took the lead. Let me hand this over to Kallum, man, because I know Pat's views on a lot of things. I don't know your views. I don't know Karl's views. How are you feeling after watching that game today?
So as the season's gone, I've just lowered my expectations each game massively. Got into every game not expecting a win, not expecting anything really. So before the game started, I was very happy with the first half, I can't lie. The first time I seen us press in the final third, looked like we actually have a bit about us. But it's just classic Tottenham, innit? It's all the second half is where we lost it. Jose's brought on Sissoko for Lo when we're trying to chase the 3 points. Silly substitutions like that where a player like Sissoko has come on to try and shore us up defensively, but he doesn't even do that. As we've seen this season, he's not even good defensively. So, yeah, I'm disappointed. But as the weeks go on, it's not impacting me as much because it's what I expect. I don't know if you man have seen Son's interview after the game. Every 2 minutes, man just said, I don't know what to say. And that's how I'm feeling now. Like, I've reviewed Tottenham games every week, all season, seen so much of the same thing. I just don't know what to say at this point. I want the season to be finished. I'm ready for next season.
I hear you, man. I hear you. And I spoke to a good friend of mine before the game, Kallum, and he's a Spurs fan. And I was saying, look, you go and beat Man United today, and you've got a real shout at trying to get into that top 4 when you look at all the points and how it all constructed. So I thought that you lot would really go for it. And as Kallum alluded to, Karl, at 1-1, you brought off Lo Celso and put on Sissoko. and it's 1-1 in a game that you really need to go and win. A draw for Man United was okay, really. What was you thinking when that was happening?
Well, making the change, I mean, you know, Lo Celso, to be honest, at the moment, I think a lot of Spurs fans are asking ourselves, what is Lo Celso? He doesn't seem to be a creative player. He's just, again, another neat and tidy player who can pass them nice sideways, doesn't seem to assist, doesn't seem to get on the score sheet. Been really disappointed with him, to be honest. You know, he doesn't seem to have a role in there at the moment. I think he obviously decided he wanted to push Ndombele further forward. It just didn't work. You know, we kind of lost some momentum in there. And Sissoko, you know, I don't think a lot of us were that fond of him when he first joined. His first season was pretty dire. He then seemed to come on a bundle in his second season and was becoming one of the first names on the team sheet. He's kind of reverted back to that first season form at the moment where he doesn't offer you anything. Clumsy on the ball. And I think we just, you know, we've had a problem in second half this season now. You know, we don't come out for the second half a lot of the time. That change also took away that momentum. And we just couldn't recover from there. You know, United come out the second half strong, knew that they could get at us. The change kind of took away any form of momentum we had. And we just couldn't get hold of that game in the second half at all. Too sloppy on the ball, too sloppy out of it, not doing what we should be doing. And, you know, it's that same old thing that's going to hurt us for the rest of the season, I think. And, you know, as Kallum said, to be honest with you now, the defeats are not hurting as much, you know, because I think, to be honest with you, we needed to go on some mad run to get in the top four, in my opinion, where we couldn't really afford to slip up in any of our remaining games. I couldn't see us putting that run together. The way we were playing was more worrying, you know, with the quality in that. So I couldn't see us putting that run together to get there. I think the draw at Newcastle put a nail in the coffin last week. And this defeat today, I think, effectively, in my opinion, ends the season. Because I'm not even looking forward to the Carabao Cup final, if I'm honest. You know, I'm really fearing a bad defeat in that final that I think the club are just holding on to that final now before they do something with Jose. I really do. I think because he's in the final, they kind of feel they can't sack him just yet in case he does win it. But I think we're all fearing the worst in that final. And I think that final will be, if we get badly beaten, I think Levy will make the move and get rid of Jose after that, because there's nothing going on the pitch at the moment. It looks like the game has passed him by. You can see it in the performances. I think we're playing with fear. I think he manages with fear at the moment, which is just, I just don't want to lose too badly. So, you know, that's not do nothing too risky. I've never seen a side that can be in the opposition penalty box in 1 minute, and 2 passes later the ball is almost back with our goalkeeper in our penalty box. There's no risk taking, and unfortunately I think it's going to kill us. And I think we're effectively seeing the season out, unfortunately, in my view, going forward.
Fair enough. A bit of an in-depth sort of on how Karl is feeling at the moment. 44 years supporting Spurs. You can not even know banter, man. You can actually hear the pain in man's voice.
It's pain.
And you would have seen a lot.
It's white. Oh, mate, I'm telling you, it's gone, mate. I've seen a lot. And don't get me wrong, this isn't as bad as the 90s years, but I think there's a lot of Spurs fans now feeling a disconnect at the moment. You know, I think the fan base is really split, and there's a lot of disconnect. And I don't even think people are now excited for games coming up. It's just that there's this feeling of dread when the game comes up. You know, the last international break felt boring, but I'll tell you now, when's the next one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hear from Rach and Beeks in just a moment, but I'm gonna hand it over to Pat now to really, you know, what would you follow on from what Karl was just saying? Because obviously he spoke about, you know, that you're not seeing anything on the pitch, but he believes that if you lose or get beaten badly in the final, that Levy will pull the trigger. I'll be honest, I don't see that happening. But what are your thoughts on that, Pat, regarding Jose possibly being sacked if you don't win, and also what you're seeing on the pitch?
Yeah, I want him gone right now. Like, I'd be happy if we turn on Sky Sports News and we see the yellow column, breaking news, Jose Mourinho has been sacked. Don't even give him time to pack his bag. If you could do Pochettino where he had to write a note on the whiteboard, Jose Mourinho shouldn't even get that. Just boot his ass out right now. I'm sick and tired of this joker. The game's past. I'm so pissed, honestly. I know Karl's saying, Karl's been a Spurs fan a lot longer than the rest of us. So he said he doesn't even feel it. I feel so pissed off today. Like, I'm so gutted and disappointed. This is a game that we needed to win to get into the top 6. And top 4. To have any fighting chance, we had to win today. We dropped points stupidly last week. But today you want to see some sort of reaction, some sort of fight. And there was not. First half, we actually played well. It was a really good game in the first half. Both teams were going through it. There was nice patterns of play. We were getting at them. You guys were getting at us. It was a good game. There was a controversial decision with the goal and Son being punched in the face and McTominay and blah, blah, blah. But it was a good, even half. And I was excited for the second half. But there has to be something wrong with, we can't keep saying it's not Jose Mourinho, it's the players, because I've never seen us play like that, where every second half we just literally we're defeated. We're just waiting for the whistle to go, and I've never seen no urgency where we chase the game. I know against West Ham there was a bit of a fight in the last 10 minutes, and there was also a fight here and there in other games. But the fact that the game meant more to us today, and we didn't chase it, and we didn't even try and do anything, with the quality of players that we have, Jose's underperforming massively, and I just think the game's done, man. The game's passed him by now, man. Because even if you look at the Brighton manager. If you look at even Scott Parker is a better manager for me right now than Jose Mourinho. At least when you look at Fulham, I know they got beat and they've been on a bad run in the last couple of games, but at least you see some sort of identity with Fulham. You see some sort of pattern of play. You see some sort of build-up play. Like Karl said, we've got the ball in the opposition penalty box. Then 2 passes later, it's back with Hugo Lloris. And I don't even understand why we're using Hugo Lloris as like an extra player, because he can't distribute the ball. So that means there's no actual hypotheses to the way we're playing. And it's just poor, man, because, yes, we have underperformed, but with that team, we should be doing a lot better than what we're doing. And we gave up. At 2-1, we gave up. And I thought you guys would score a couple more, to be honest. So 3-1, I was just happy for the final whistle to go. And yeah, that's pretty much how I feel, man.
Jeez, boy, some deep words there from Pat, boy. Man said, get him out now. Jesus. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, man. And I'm not going to do the whole I told you so thing, because that's not my style, people. That's not my style. But, me and Pat have spoken about this. I spoke to others, and I was just trying to pass on the same advice that was passed on to me that I didn't listen to. Because you see, as a Man United fan, when we got Jose, in my head, I'm thinking Jose Mourinho equals title. So I don't care about all of the stuff I used to say about you, Jose. You're my manager now. You're going to win us the title. I used to cuss. I didn't like him before. As soon as he's the Manchester United manager, I put it all to one side. And what I tried to say to Spurs fans is you're doing the same thing as what I was doing.
100%.
He's actually not that guy anymore, in my opinion. Rach, what is your thoughts? Because I know you might have a different thought on it. You always come with a different thought. So let me hear what you've got to say.
What, on Jose?
On Jose and Spurs, and is it Jose or is it the players?
Both. It's Jose, the players. Daniel Levy's got a lot to answer for as well. Because if you hire Jose Mourinho as your manager, the same way we did, and you don't fully back him and get the players that he wants to build his squad, then what's the point of hiring Jose Mourinho? He's very much a checkbook manager, just like Pep Guardiola. You bring these managers in, you back them to get the players that they need to win titles, and then they will win a title. You can't give him that Spurs squad. Give him a couple of players and say, go and win the title with that, or go and win the Champions League with that. You can't do that. You have to back him fully. Give him all the players he wants. He got backed at Chelsea, won the titles there. Real Madrid, Inter Milan, they had a pretty decent team anyway, full of experience in that. Added a couple more players and he wins a title there, wins a treble there. Like, you can't bring Mourinho in and not back him. He's just not that kind of manager. He's not a manager that works with scraps and tries to make the best of it. He's never been that manager. So Daniel Levy has to be held responsible as well.
Okay. Now I'm going to flip it and I'm going to see what your thoughts are on this, Beeks, because we're now assuming that Jose has been promised to be backed. Could it be that, because we all know what Levy's like. So again, I'm thinking when I see that appointment, I'm thinking, Jose coming to a place that don't really like to spend money when he needs to spend money doesn't quite work. Could it be that he came in and said, do you know what, Levy, I can do a thing with your budget and what we've got here and try and make it work? Could it be that, Beeks?
It could be that, but I'm not going to give the Spurs boys, the Spurs fans, false hope. I'm going to put it like this. Levy lied to Mourinho. He's a liar. He's a liar. Can put it that way. As much as you want to, he basically said to Mourinho, he said, "Bro, say less. I've got peas. Just come. I'll sort you out." Mourinho said, "Well, all right, cool, man." He said to Mourinho, he said, "Bro, new stadium and that, everything's strapped. Trust me, I've got peas." Mourinho got sold a dream. He said, "All right, cool. Sign the dotted line." You fast forward now, and you're seeing everything, bro. We even saw it in the Amazon documentary, wasn't it? Yeah, where you're seeing behind the scenes and whatnot. And you're thinking, well, all right, cool. Mourinho's got some sort of pattern. He got some sort of way he wants to play and whatnot. And fast forward again, 2021 on today's day, and as the boys said, look, they're down, bro. You can see they're depressed. They don't even want to watch their games anymore. They want to do it. So I'm with Rachel, man. Look, listen, these man, like Mourinho's to blame, the players are to blame, and Levy's to blame. We can't just put the whole pressure on Mourinho and say like it's all his fault. Yes, he's the one managing. It's down to the morale and everything. Yeah, we get that. But the players need to pull up their socks as well and be held accountable for how they're playing on the pitch. Because we do the same thing at Man United, and we always say, "Oh yeah, Ollie, this," but it's the players as well. Sometimes the players don't perform to the level that they're supposed to be performing at. You understand what I'm saying? So this blame game of it's just Jose Mourinho is slightly unfair, but obviously let me put it like this: if you go into a store now and you get hired like in Tesco manager or whatnot, and then you're not doing well, they're not going to sack like 20 staff at Tesco. They're going to sack the manager, innit? And that's what's probably going to happen sooner or later. I mean, these guys are fearing for the cup final. It's long for them, and if I was a Spurs fan, I'll be fearing for the worst. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know what's going to happen, but just put it this way: if you guys win that trophy, Mourinho's extending his contract, man. Levy ain't going to be looking elsewhere. He's going to think what he's going to do is going to say, look, we won a trophy, so we can't. We're going to we're going to paper the cracks. Unfortunately, you understand what I'm saying? But I don't know. I do feel for you, man, like because it's long. We've been there. We've been there before, and trust me, it's painful, man, and it only gets worse. I really hope that for your sake, he goes by the end of the season. I hear what Patrick's saying. He wants the yellow sign winning. I don't think that's going to come anytime soon, man. I'm so sorry, bro. It's looking long.
Yeah, you guys are in prison.
You might have locked up.
Yeah, because that money, Jose, that's going to cost a lot of money to get, and Levy's tight as it is, as you lot will keep saying. But I always try and say, look, when you see a team playing the way they're playing, i.e., Manchester City, obviously you talk about having great players like Kevin De Bruyne, Sterling, and we talk about them having a great squad. But you see their style of play, their intensity. These managers carry a certain type of football, don't they? But when we look at Jose, we associate Jose football with sitting back, park the bus. That's what he's associated with. And what we're seeing, what Spurs do, is the same thing that we saw at Manchester United. So I don't think that we can cut him as much slack as what some people may try to cut him, because we're seeing the same things over and over again. Kallum, do you believe that, obviously he was brought in to win trophies? If he wins the Carabao Cup and you finish outside of the top four, do you believe that is a good season for you? And is that enough to keep the Harry Kane sort of rumours under ice? Do you think there's some truth to those rumours as well?
I think there's got to be some truth to them rumours. If you're Harry Kane, a player of his quality, you have to be playing at the highest level. He deserves to play Champions League football. And the way we're going right now, we ain't going to be playing that next season. So if Kane says at the end of the season, listen, I want to leave, I want to play against the best teams in Europe. Obviously, right now he's in a contract. I think there's 3 years left of his contract. Levy won't sell him for no less than 130, 150 mil. No one's really got that money right now. I can't see him leaving, but I can see him wanting to leave. But I have to say, I agree with what Rachel was saying. I don't think Mourinho was the right man for the job. But I have to be honest, at the time, like Poch was my guy. Poch was like a dad to me, I can't lie. But when we sacked him and Mourinho got appointed, I think it was the next day, I got gassed at the time. I was thinking, he's a winner. He's won all the trophies there is to win. We need trophies right now. He's the right man for the job. But a few weeks later, after the appointment, I really deeped it. I thought, not only is he not managed for 2 years before he's come to us, but Jose's a man that needs to have players that are willing to die for him, willing to put everything on the line for him. And at the minute, there's only about 4 or 5 of them players at the club. Because if you look at it, the best players we have right now, Kane, Son, they're all buying into Jose because they're playing the best football of their lives. They're doing what's asked of them. But before Jose's come in, we've got so much dead wood at this club. Winks, Lamella, Sanchez, there's so cold, Dyer. There's so many of these players that need to go. So when I'm looking at Levy's appointment of Mourinho, yeah, he's probably promised him a bag of lies and I've got peas to give you for signings that he's not ended up making. But I feel like Levy's appointed him to try and make these weak footballers in terms of mentality and ability. He's brought Jose in to try and get the best out of them. But that's not what Jose is going to do. Jose is not going to make these mediocre players good. Jose is going to make these good players even better. Kane, Son. So the way I see it, if Levy knew that he was never going to back Jose, then why appoint him? And I know people will say that, yeah, we signed a few players that Jose wanted last season, but let's be honest. Højbjerg, cool, good signing. Doherty, everyone's surprised by him. He was great at Wolves. He's come to Tottenham. He's been rubbish. Yeah, there's the argument that he played in a back 5. We're playing him in a back 4. Either way, when we see him go forward, he's still terrible. But for me, Jose wanted Ruben Diaz. We got Joe Rodon, championship player, dead. Jose wanted, Poch wanted Fernandez. We got Lo Celso. Like, when you look at the issues at the top of the club, the board, we're always going for the cheaper alternative. And as long as we keep doing that, we're never going to be able to sit here and say we want to compete to be consistently in the Champions League or, dare I say, fighting for the title. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Karl, what would you like to see happen now? If you was, not to say if you was in charge, but you've already said you want the season to end. What would you like to see happen in the summer and the start of next season? Would you like to see Jose in charge? And if so, what would you like to see him backed with?
The way things are going at the moment and the football we're seeing under Jose and kind of the aura around the bloke, I think the game has passed him by now. So I think we're looking at a bloke. Yes, he was a winner. He was a winner. That's the key thing. I think football has passed him by, especially even in the man management sort of way. Players don't respond to that sort of thing anymore. It's okay if you've got your diehard John Terrys and Frank Lampards. Great. Lots of football, but teams don't have 11 John Terrys or Lampards who are going to buy into it and that. So, Jose's happy to throw everyone under the bus, apart from him. But for me now, Jose's not the future. We need to move on from him. Where you go, where the next manager is going to come from, I don't know. I think Chelsea, by looks of it, have gone and got themselves a good man there in Tuchel at the moment. He seems to be having a great effect on that squad. We may have missed an opportunity there. Earlier in the season, the way Leicester were playing, I would have said Rodgers was the man. I would have gone, well, do you know what? I think if you give Rodgers some backing and give him a good squad, he possibly could develop and get you up there. But Leicester has started to fall away. Now, is that just a squad or is that Rodgers as a manager hasn't got that extra to take him above? I don't know. It's a really tough one as to who you turn to. I think, though, as the kind of way we feel is that fundamentally, if something doesn't change at the top of the club and the way that the club wants to be run, I don't think it matters who you bring in. Because like as we're saying, if you're going to, Spurs' method here is money making. It's a profit machine that wants to buy young players with potential and hope that they come in, develop. We paid 19-20 million for them, and the hope is that in 2 years' time you're looking at 80 million to sell them on. Players like Steven Bergwijn, Joe Rodon
Wasn't even in the squad today.
It's okay to buy it. Exactly. It's okay to buy a few of them players. It's got to be mixed in with players that are there right now and are going to bring you quality instantly, especially if you want to be Champions League football and challenging for silverware. You need that fine mixture. But Tottenham always want to go for that. He's 28. We don't want to buy a 28-year-old. Yeah, but he's going to bring you quality now, and he's going to win you games and win you points. The 21-year-old you're bringing in, he could be great, but you're going to get inconsistency, and that inconsistency is going to cost you games. It's going to cost you points. And unfortunately, until that changes, where you suddenly get the people at the top say, we want success, and we're going to pay if we have to for that success. Yes, we might only be getting 2 years out of this guy we're going to buy, but those 2 years could bring us top fours, the title, trophies, and that in itself then brings revenue on after that. And while he's there playing well, the young 19-year-old can learn off him, and hopefully we can bring him in slowly, he develops, and then he takes over from that guy in that 2 years' time. We've got chairmen who I don't think their priority is football and winning things in a football capacity. It's look at our stadium. Isn't it brilliant? Yeah, it's great. We want to have Anthony Joshua fighting there. We want to have concerts. That's their aim. That is money. They want to bring money in. And unfortunately, it's held us back since the day that Enoch came into the club. And we could probably have Jesus in charge right now. He wouldn't be able to do it under Daniel Levy's leadership, I'm afraid. So I think I think there's going to be some real pressure come on the ball at the end of this season. Because especially as well, like I say, when that Carabao Cup final goes the way I think it could go, I think the fans are going to really turn at that point. And this could be a summer where we see a lot of pressure. I don't see them going and doing any major business in the summer, because Levy will still want to sell Sissoko for 30 million, which then makes him hard to sell. He won't want to let Lamella go for cheap. So if you can't get these players out the door, you can't bring players in. And again, that's when you've got a board who are more interested in money matters than football on the pitch.
Fair enough. I hear a lot of that. There's a comment here from Daniel Wade. Bought in Bell and Doherty, hardly YTS boys. So just quickly at you, Pat, before we move on from Spurs, is, I obviously know personally that you was happy with the signings that you've made. So we're talking about Jose hasn't been backed. Do you agree with that then, that he wasn't backed and that this is sort of down to your Levy? Because let me not talk anymore. What do you reckon?
Yeah, he wasn't backed. He wasn't backed properly. Yes, you can reel off names and say Doherty and Bale and blah, blah, blah. But like Kallum said, and like I've said many a time, Jose wanted Skriniar. We were close to getting him, but we didn't want to pay the extra 10 million. So he ended up staying at Inter Milan. And Skriniar wasn't playing. He asked to leave. We didn't get him. We was looking at Ruben Dias. Obviously, we didn't get him. He's now gone Man City, and he's probably been their player of the season. Those are two players that come in and instantly transformed our defense. And then we could have paired Skriniar or Dias with Rodon, and we would have made a huge difference to our defense. Right now, we've chopped and changed centre-backs every other game. Our best centre-back, for me, is Toby Alderweireld, and he's not playing. That still doesn't make any sense to me. And then we're playing, obviously, a guy... Joe Rodon is a good player, but he's been thrown in the deep end, and he's playing with chumps. He's playing with bums. And so, obviously, he can't do everything for everyone. So that's a thing. Doherty is a decent player, but he hasn't, obviously... he hasn't adapted to the level that we need him at.
Pat, this one here, because this is true. You did rate Spurs' transfer window as the best in the Premier League.
I'm sure people listening. I just explained it. Like, I don't understand. Like, all I'm seeing in the comments is all these Arsenal boys talking, throwing digs. Arsenal are crap. I don't even understand. I really don't. All these shots.
No, but I'm saying, but Arsenal aside, I think it's a valid question to say that in the summer you said it was the best window that out of any team, and then now you're saying that he wasn't backed. So you can see why there's a bit of inconsistency there.
Yeah, there was good players brought in, but the players that Jose actually wanted, we didn't get. Which is, we wanted the top centre back. That was the main priority. We didn't get that. So that's
So you
that's
made
where I'm
so
coming
maybe you was just a bit hasty in saying it was the best window. Then basically,
you know what it was. Yeah, you know what it was at the time. Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say at the time, before we entered the window, we knew there were certain positions that needed strengthening: right back, centre back, DM. Obviously, apart from a centre back, we've strengthened all them players. So in our heads as Spurs fans, we was thinking, yeah, we've had a good window. We brought in a DM that we finally needed. We brought in a right back who's been good in the Prem. We got Bale was a bit of a gas. Yeah, man's come back. Bale back, rare. None of us knew how good he was going to be, and he's shown us that he's nowhere near the man he once was. But at the time, we've seen it. We thought we've addressed all of the issues that we had, but a lot of them were just cheaper alternatives.
Okay. Now I see a lot of similarities between Spurs and Manchester United in terms of what the fans say, the board not being backed, all of this sort of thing. Rach, what are your thoughts then on today in terms of Ollie, how he's gone about things today, and in general? We're sitting second in the league. We're possibly, going to be in the semi-final of the Europa. I know you think that Ollie wasn't backed, as do almost every fan, because I know I do and Beeks does as well. What are your thoughts then on Ollie and the team today?